is staggering. There are a lot of people that are waking up because of this, and a lot of people are just throwing the blinders on. All right, so we got to be creating real relationships in our community. We got to be creating real resilient food distribution networks. These people are working on systematically and shutting down your ability to travel, your ability to go outside. We can't allow this. We got to stop allowing the stupid lockdowns. We got to stop allowing this PCR test bullshit to upend and ruin our lives and enslave us. Because if we don't, we're going to end up like freaking India. Why are thousands of Indian farmers protesting? Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi says recently enacted farm laws will free farmers from bullying middlemen. Farmers say they fear big corporations. Farmers from the northern Indian states of Punjab and Haryana, angry at recently enacted farm laws, have been trying to stage protests in the capital, New Delhi. Some of India's farmers are among the country's poorest people, but government policies have long protected them, from the ravages of open market prices. That is changing. A set of 3 laws passed in September aims to deregulate India's enormous agriculture sector. So there you go, opening it up to the World Economic Forum. Remember, Sadhguru likes to go to the World Economic Forum. Sadhguru goes to the World Economic Forum and tells these people at the World Economic Forum that India needs to come to heel. India will be a member of this new sustainable global order of population reduction. Sadhguru. A set of 3 laws passed in September aims to deregulate India's enormous agriculture sector. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said they will liberate farmers from the tyranny of middlemen, but many farmers fear they stand to lose more than they could gain from the new regulations, and that the main beneficiaries will be agricultural corporations with gargantuan financial firepower. Oh, of course. Of course. As a result, the farmers have taken to the streets in the biggest such protests in years. The demonstrations ramped up last week when several thousand protesters from the northern states of Punjab and Haryana set out to converge on the capital, New Delhi. Police blocked them at the city's borders, denying them permission to gather in a place of their choice. What do India's new farm laws do? First, they make it easier for farmers to bypass government-regulated markets, known locally as mandis, to sell produce directly to private buyers, meaning corporations. They can now enter into contracts with private companies, a practice known in India as contract farming, and sell across state borders. The new regulation also allows traders to stockpile food. This is a shift away from prohibitions against hoarding, which could make it easier for traders to take advantage of rising prices, such as during a pandemic. Such practices were criminal offenses under the old rules. Why is any of this a problem? Al Jazeera says that farmers have some genuine concerns. Well, how nice. How generous. A big one is that the new rules remove many of their safeguards. More than 86% of India's cultivated farmland is controlled by smallholder farms who own less than 2 hectares, 5 acres of land each. They fear that they just do not have enough bargaining power to get the kinds of prices they need for a decent standard of living when they negotiate to sell their produce to larger companies. So what these companies set up is this basic model of, it's basically corporate sharecropping. Right? And they're going to set the situation up to where these people either become corporate sharecroppers to these big transnational corporations and then collectively plant, till, and harvest their farms together using the very sustainable methods of industrial agriculture. They can do that, or they can just go out of business and then sell those measly 2 hectares of land that they have to these huge transnational corporations who can then grow that food and export it. Right? This is ridiculous. The government has left us at the mercy of big corporations, says Rashbinder Singh, 27, a farmer from the Punjab state. It is preposterous to believe that farmers who have small land holdings will have any bargaining power over private players. So they're going to offer them such low prices for their food that the only thing they can do is adopt the industrial model. What do you need to adopt the industrial model? Well, you need big loans from the IMF. You got to plant them GMOs. You got to plant them good old GMOs. And you got to use these pesticides, herbicides, that destroy your soil, and then make you more dependent on more input from these chemical companies with their GMO seeds. One of the new legal provisions says that to resolve disputes, farmers can seek a so-called conciliation board, district-level administrative officers, or an appellate authority. In other words, these cases will not go to a regular court. So they're going to go to freaking kangaroo courts if they have an issue. The new laws do not make written contracts mandatory. So in the case of any violation of their terms, it can be very hard for a farmer to prove that he or her has been aggrieved, giving them little recourse. So they're destroying farming. They want to destroy the small farmer model throughout the whole third world, consolidate that power into the hands of very few corporations who can then increase their land holdings. And then shoot, with the Green New Deal stuff, they'll even be able to leverage those land holdings as ecosystem services and get carbon credits at an international level. This is the biggest scam. This whole Green New Deal, Great Reset is such a scam. And the target of this, the real victims of this, are small family farms, small business, the family in general, right? Basically everybody except huge mega corporations, international banks, the World Economic Forum members, the UN, and all these huge transnational corporations and banks and the World Business Councils for Sustainable Development. They're going to make out huge with this. They're going to make massive profits. Then India's farmers are going to get screwed.